All right, guys, welcome back. It's game day 4. Game week 16 is rolling on, and the NBA Fantasy Salary Cap edition continues. I had a slightly not so good game day 4, but 170 points was what I scored. The average was 145, which is above average, so it's welcome. Johnson continues to be a revelation for Atlanta Hawks, giving me 74 points in the game. Reinhard 0, he didn't get to play. Tyrese Maxey, amazing game against Golden State Warriors, gave me 64 points. Ken Knopo continues to be amazing for the Charlotte Hornets, who are turning out to be unbeatable, gave me 32 points. And that's all I had on the night. All right, so moving on to the games of the day. The first game was Washington Wizards, which managed to beat Detroit Pistons. It was a shocker, that one. You know, Washington Wizards is called the Siberia of the NBA, and guess who is going there? That's AD. Didn't even last a full season with former Golden with the Dallas Mavericks. They have a new kid in town in Cooper Flag, but more on that later. So Washington Wizards managed to beat Detroit Pistons, who are actually also in form. We have the highlights of that one. Let me roll them.
Czar runs the rebound down to the basket against Duncan Robinson, flips it up and fills it up.
Oh yeah, he can also put
Yes,
it on the
yes. Of course, Washington Wizards managed to win this one, 126 to 117, beating Kincaid Cunningham's Detroit Pistons. Kincaid dropped 30 points in the game, of course, getting a total of 57 fantasy points, 8 rebounds and 8 assists to go along with that. So he had an amazing game. Unfortunately for them, they were not able to win that one. Duncan Robinson, he's actually has a flag on him, has a quadricep injury, flag on him. Managed to drop 21 points on the night, 26 fantasy points. Isaiah Thompson managed to get, of course, 13 points in the game and 9 rebounds, scoring a total of 46 fantasy points in the game. Then on the other side, of course, AD has not yet started playing, so Riley is who led the way. Will Riley, who scored 20 points in the game. Then maybe a look at Sa only managed 12 points on the night, getting a total of 23 fantasy points. So we're not going to be seeing all the highlights of this one. Champagne managed to get just 14 points in this one, scoring a total of 26 fantasy points. It was a thriller, but of course Washington Wizards managed to win that game, as you can see right there. There was not much really to show, but just a shocker that Detroit Pistons would lose this one, and that's how, of course, that one ended. Then, of course, right after that game came the Brooklyn Nets taking on Orlando Magic, and Orlando Magic managed to beat the Brooklyn Nets in this one. And of course, Jalen Suggs, returning to his usual self as he was last season, managed to drop 15 points. We have the highlights of this one as well as we roll on. And of course, Desmond Baines led the way for the Orlando Magic on that side, dropping a total of 46 points, dropping 23 in the game, 3 rebounds and 4 assists for Bain. Then Banchero managed to drop 22 points in this one, 41 fantasy points as well in the game. Then, of course, Anthony Black on that side managed to get 36 fantasy points, dropping 27. Playing for 27 minutes, dropping 18 points in the game, 36 fantasy points. Then Jalen Suggs, who had an amazing game. Look at this box score. He had a total of 69 fantasy points. That's Jalen Suggs. Managed to drop 15 points in the game, 11 rebounds and 11 assists. That's a triple-double in that game for Jalen Suggs. But to go along with that, he had 4 blocks and 3 steals, giving him a total of 69 fantasy points. That's for Jalen Suggs right there. Then on the other side, Damon continues to be Igor Damon for the Brooklyn Nets, continues to be a good player, serviceable player, just at 6.4 salary cap. That's Jalen Suggs with the alley right there. As you can see, he had an amazing game on the night. Back to Igor Damon. Igor Damon managed to score a total of 34 fantasy points, dropping 26 in the game for the Brooklyn Nets. So that one, we're not going to finish the highlights. We're going to be moving on to the next game, but that's how that one ended right there. Then, of course, right after that came the Utah Jazz taking on Atlanta Hawks. And of course, Atlanta Hawks managed to win that one. It was a close one, just decided by 3 points. 2 points. Yeah, by 3 points. Yeah, that's 3, right? 19, 20, 21. 2 points. Interesting. Just getting my math. Isaiah Collier continues to also have an amazing game. I think he has turned the corner. Now he's back to his usual self. He had a very amazing NBA game last season, so this time round, here are the highlights. Collier managed to drop 25 points on the night, drawing a total of 63 fantasy points. He had a double-double with 11 assists. Remember, after the game that he had prior of 22 assists on the night against Indiana Pacers, but this time round he had 11 assists, dropping 25 fantasy points. Maybe it is time to cash him. He's just 8.5 salary million. That's just 8.5, so he's affordable. Then again on that side is Ace Bailey, the new rookie, scoring 20 points, 37 points, fantasy points on the night, 6 rebounds to go along with that. Larry Marketing managed to drop 18 points, 28 fantasy points on the night. Then on the other side, the Atlanta side, Jacques Landale being amazing, dropping 59 fantasy points, a double-double, 26 points on the night, and 11 rebounds as well to go along with that score right there. He also had 5 assists and 4 blocks. That is for Jacques Landale right there. He had an amazing game. He led the way actually for the Atlanta, dropping 26 points on the night. Then Nikhil Alexander, that's Jock right there, having an amazing game on the night. Yeah, so Nikhil Alexander Walker got a total of 41 fantasy points on the night, dropping 23 points on the night. Then of course the main man, Jalen Johnson. I don't know, it is between Jalen Johnson and Danny Avdia among the most improved players, but they're most definitely going to go to Danny Avdia. I hope it does anyway. Johnson on the night had a total of 74 fantasy points, dropping a triple-double, 22 points, 16 rebounds, and 15 assists on the night. That is for Jalen right there for the Atlanta Hawks. Then, of course, Chris Pratt, Corey managed to drop 20 points, 22 fantasy points also on the night. Dyson Daniels as well managed to get 29 points, scoring 11. I'm just trying to buy time as we see the final seconds of this game so that we see how it ended. Remember, it was just decided by 2 points. That's Jalen Johnson right there. Bailey tied the game right there. Then the Hawks came back. Nikhil basket. That was the winning basket. A buzzer beater. That was it. All right, so that's how that one ended right there. All right, then of course after that came the Chicago-Toronto Raptors game. As you can see right there, Toronto Raptors managed to win that one, beating Chicago. Chicago actually let go of some of their good chips, so I do not know what they intend to have, because they let go of Vucevic and Kobe White, and I don't really understand what they're trying to do. They moved on from Chicago, and of course, here they are. They lost that game. Brandon Ingram leading the way for the Toronto Raptors. We have the highlights of that one as we take you through. So, of course, Brandon Ingram dropped 33 points on the night, accumulating a total of 54 fantasy points. Emmanuel quickly dropped 24 points on the night as well for the Toronto Raptors, getting a total of 39 fantasy points. Mamu, the kids love Mamu Keleshvili, managed to drop a total of, accumulate a total of 36 fantasy points, dropping 17 in the game. On the other side, it was Anthony Simons. Of course, he came from Celtics and joined Chicago Bulls. Let's hope he enjoys himself in the new home in Chicago. And of course, he led the way for the Bulls, dropping a total of 22 points on the night, 33 fantasy points. Then Buzelis was the second high scorer with 18 points for the Bulls on the night, accumulating a total of 36 fantasy. Then Yabusele, maybe it's time to bring him in. Remember, he had a good season when he was in Philly last season. So let's hope this time round he's going to be getting more play time. He managed to drop 15 points and a double-double, 11 rebounds, 38 fantasy points for Yabusele on the night. All right, so that's how that one ended. Then, of course, the next game was Charlotte Hornets that were taking on Houston Rockets. Houston Rockets have lost 2 games in a row, but of course, it goes without saying, Charlotte Hornets are on fire. They cannot lose. The team just simply cannot lose. So, of course, when a hard place meets an immovable object, well, one has to budge. And in this time round, of course, Houston Rockets had to budge. Charlotte Hornets were not taking any prisoners. Kane Kanopo continues to be amazing. Ken Kanopo having yet another amazing season, among the best rookies. But of course, we know who the rookie of the year. More on that shortly. His game was on the night as well. Unfortunately, he lost. But Ken Kanopo is good. He's having a good game. He scored the most points for the Charlotte Hornets, dropping 24 points on the night, giving him a total of 32 fantasy points for Ken Kanopo. Then LaMelo Ball managed to get 20 points on the night, 34 fantasy points as well. Mikal Bridges as well managed to drop 18 points, 35 fantasy points on the night. Then, of course, Josh Green, 14 points, 34 points on the night. Brandon Miller goes without saying, 11 points on the night, dropped, accumulating a total of 28 points. That was the Charlotte Hornets. Of course, they got a total of 109 points on the night as they were taking on the amazing Houston Rockets. Then on the other side, KD continues to lead his way, managed to score 31 points on the night for the Houston Rockets, 51 fantasy points accumulated for him. Jabari Smith Jr. also managed to score 17 points and 7 rebounds to go along with that, a total of 37 fantasy points. Then Amen Thompson, an amazing player in Amen Thompson, only got 8 points on the night, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, and of course 5 rebounds, 33 fantasy points right there. Then Alperen Shangun managed to get just 7 points and of course 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 29 fantasy points. He didn't have a very good game. Then of course Rich Shepard also had a terrible game, just 7 points on the night, 18 fantasy points on the night. So of course the Houston Rockets lost that one, 109 Charlotte Hornets and 99 Houston Rockets. So that's how that one ended right there, as you can see. Then, of course, right after that came the man, the legend, the myth, Victor Wembanyama, taking on none other than the rookie of the year, Super Flag. San Antonio Spurs took on Dallas Mavericks, and of course, you know who won. It was San Antonio Spurs managed to beat Dallas Mavericks 135 to 123 on the night. Victor Wembanyama leading the way for the San Antonio Spurs, dropping a total of 29 points. There he is from deep. That's Wembenyama right there. Managed to get a total of 67 fantasy points on the night, dropping 29 points in the game and a double-double, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 blocks and 2 steals for Victor Wembenyama. 67 fantasy points on the night. Then Harrison Barnes for the San Antonio Spurs managed to get 19 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists, 29 fantasy points on the night. Stephon Castle, 18 points is what he dropped on the night for Stephon Castle. 46 fantasy points for Stephon Castle. Then of course De'Aaron Fox also put in his fair share of contribution of 17 points on the night and 7 assists, 34 fantasy points. Champagne, the sharpshooter, had 14 points, 26 fantasy points for Champagne. Then on the other side, Dallas Mavericks was led by, of course, Cooper Flag, and together with Najee Marshall. Najee Marshall had also 32 points on the night, 42 fantasy points. And of course, Cooper Flag, the rookie of the year, dropped also a total of 32 points on the night, 6 rebounds, and of course 4 assists, 3 blocks and 2 steals to go along with that. A total of 61 fantasy points for the rookie of the year. Maxi Christie doing his thing as well for the Dallas Mavericks. He dropped 20 points on the night. That's Christie. Of course, the acquisition from the LA Lakers during that blockbuster move where the Dallas Mavericks led the generational talent in Luka Doncic to the LA Lakers. 34 points was what Christie managed to accumulate. That is 34 fantasy points for Max Christie. Then Daniel Gafford, of course, much needed after they lost AD. AD went to the Siberia of the NBA, that is in Washington Wizards. So a total of 51 points for Gafford, who had a double-double, 16 points and 10 rebounds on the night. It was an amazing game, but of course it wasn't enough. San Antonio Spurs is on a heater. It's on a heater. Of course, if Wembenyama was to stay fit long enough, they would be on the top in the West. I would like to think so, because they can beat. Look at Wemby stopping Gafford. Wow, amazing stuff right there. All right, so that's how that one ended. I'm not going to finish the highlights, but that's Wemby from range. Starts off. Wow, that's poor defense. That's how it is. That's how it is in the NBA. So that's how that one ended. Of course, San Antonio Spurs winning that one. Then 2 more games are left. Of course, Philly was taking on LA Lakers. Remember, Austin Reaves came back. Now we just need LeBron to be let go. I actually thought they would let him go early, but they didn't let him go. He's still around, so he's holding back the Lakers. But I guess we're just going to have to put up with him until the end of the season. The next season, the Lakers will be at their best without LeBron James. He has a terrible box plus minus. Whenever he's on court, the Lakers actually lose points. Anyway, that's how that one ended. The Lakers managed to win that one because Austin Reaves did his best to carry them. Luka did not have a good game. It ended 115 to 119. The Lakers winning that. 4 points was the decider. Joel Embiid also returned in this game, managed to drop 35 points in the game, 7 rebounds and 7 assists, 65 fantasy points for Joel Embiid. Inconsistent, but whenever he's on, he actually plays. Then of course Tyrese Maxey doing his contribution, consistent this season, dropping 26 points on the night, 64 fantasy points right there for Philly. 64 fantasy points, 26 points on the night. VJ Edgecombe, another amazing rookie, had a double-double, dropping 19 points and 10 rebounds in this game, and of course 45 fantasy points. That's Quinton Grimes right there. Had a terrible game. He only had 4 points in the game, unfortunately. Then of course Barlow Dominic had 13 points, 25 fantasy points. Kelly Oubre dropping a total of just 8 points, 27 fantasy points right there. Then on the other side, of course, Austin Reaves getting back to his usual self, managed to drop 35 points on the night, 45 fantasy points for Austin Reaves. Hachimura had 14 points on the night, dropping 23 fantasy points as well. Then Jake Lorlevia. These are the players that need to be given more time. All the hours that are given to this man need to be removed and be given to the youth so that this team can actually meet and rise up to the potential that we know they have. So of course, Luka was injured earlier on. He didn't finish this game. He had a terrible game. Yeah, but of course, guess who stepped up? That was Austin Reaves, who ensured that these guys win the game. Jake Rolevia managed to get 14 points on the night, accumulating a total of 27 fantasy points for himself right there. Then Luka Doncic, who has a hamstring injury, only got managed to play just 15 minutes in the game, got 10 points and of course 18 fantasy points. I really hope that injury is not for long because they really need him if they're going to make a push. Then of course 10 points on the night for none other than DeAndre Ayton, and a total of 22 fantasy points. Remember, Austin Reaves was the main player in this game. Without him, the Lakers would not have won that game. He managed to get 45 fantasy points and 35 points to go along with that. But James is just a waste of time. All right. That's how the cookie crumbled in this one, and that's how that one ended, with the Lakers managing to win thanks to Austin Reaves' contribution of 45 fantasy points and a total of 35 points in the game to lift the Lakers to that win, beating Philly 115-119 in that game. Then the final game of the night was, of course, Golden State Warriors taking on Phoenix Suns. It was a close one with, of course, the main man, I'm forgetting his name. Why is it skipping my mind? Curry was on the bench pushing and urging on his team to win this game. So of course Spencer Curry on the sideline right there. So just watching the final seconds of this game.
He's trying to work his way inside. A switch on defense. Now Madden takes over.
Yep, that's how that one ended. An amazing end to all the games that we had on the night. Now, and look at the players of the night. Of course, in the backcourt was none other than Jalen Suggs right there, as of course Orlando Magic managed to beat Brooklyn Nets 98-118 on the night. Jalen Suggs managed to get a triple-double, 15 points, 11 rebounds, 11 assists, 4 blocks and 3 steals, an amazing box score on the night of 69 fantasy points, which brings his total averages of the season to 14.3 points per game, 4 rebounds per game, and 5.2 assists per game for Jalen Suggs in the backcourt right there. Then, of course, the overall player of the night was none other than Jalen Johnson of the Atlanta Hawks, as they managed to beat Utah 119-121. In the front court is Jalen Johnson, game day 4, game week 16, player of the night. 22 points is what he dropped, a triple-double, 16 rebounds and 15 assists, 2 blocks, 0 steals, 47 fantasy points, bringing his total averages to 23.2 points per game, 10.6 rebounds per game, and 8.2 assists per game. All right, guys, that is how game day 4 of game week 16 ended. Peace out.